Hey, what's up guys? In this video we're going back down to Puerto Rico. Take a look at the swarm that's still underway, where yet another large quake has came out of that swarm. 5.9 this morning rocked the island of Puerto Rico around 9 a.m. local time. We're keeping a close eye on this storm that's tearing a patch through the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys. Right now as I do this video, there's been multiple tornado warnings, flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, large hail, high winds. As the front line of this storm was going through Nashville this morning, you can see it over here on the far right now. The winds got very, very high. In fact, at one point, there was a tornado warning for South Nashville. I went to earthcam.com and I found a camera in Nashville. And here's an idea of just how strong some of the straight line winds were. This camera, I noticed, was shaking at the top of the structure it's mounted on. I don't know if this sits on a building, on a tower, exactly where it's at, but you're going to see these winds got so strong at times, this camera almost acted like it was going to come loose. Check this out. Again, this is at earthcam.com. This was this morning at 9:13 a.m. local time, January the 11th. I'll post the link to earthcam.com down in the description box, and you can check it out. It's a good way to kind of track storms. You can go to these different cameras where the storms are going through, and you can actually get a first-hand look at what's going on. And in this case, I happened to find this camera swaying back and forth as the storm was going through Nashville early this morning. Right now, we're looking at a radar loop over Alabama. There's a tornado warning over northern Alabama. Right now, as I do this video, tens of thousands of customers are without electricity, not only in the central U.S., but down here in Puerto Rico as well, as a result of yet another very large earthquake coming out of this swarm. In fact, there were just two more aftershocks right now as I'm doing this video. The swarm is taking on a slightly different path, and I'll show you guys here in just a moment. But first, a few of the details. Early this morning, it came across my earthquake app as a 6.0 3 miles deep. It's been downgraded just slightly to a 5.9. Still a very large quake for being that shallow. It would have been felt all over the entire island. More power outages, more buildings and homes damaged, but from what I understand, no injuries, and that's the main thing. I want to show you though, the quake swarm is taking on a little bit of a different personality. The last report we did, there were quakes over here in the trench. There aren't none anymore, maybe one or two stray ones over there in the trench. All of the quakes now and all of the energy seems to be isolated in this one area, and it's moving inland. There have literally over the last couple of weeks been a few thousand earthquakes in this area, most of them being offshore. I took a screenshot of the swarm back on January the 4th, and you can see the majority of the quakes were offshore. Probably according to this map right here, about 90% of the quakes were offshore. Now we're looking at about 50% of the quakes offshore. Right there you can see the quakes are definitely moving inland, so they're moving more towards land than offshore. So that means there's a good possibility that if there is another large earthquake in the 6.0 magnitude range, it could be directly on land. So just something to think about and something to be prepared for. The two that we've had have been offshore, but you can see they're moving towards land. I've followed quake swarms in Southern California, and the energy does move, and the swarm will move. It's just how they work. That's what this one's doing, and we'll continue to keep a very close eye on it. We're watching these storms roll through the Midwest and the eastern part of the United States right now, clear up into Canada, Montreal, Nova Scotia. In fact, parts of Montreal could see 7/10 of an inch of ice today, but by the time this storm rolls through tomorrow. That's nearly 3/4 of an inch of ice. That would put even more people in the dark, because I've been in the middle of a very strong ice storm that took down power lines quite easily because the tree branches were covered with ice and could not hold all of the excessive weight. Not only in Montreal, but up in Michigan too, where they could possibly see somewhere in the neighborhood of 7/10 of an inch of ice in places. These are scattered, but half an inch, a quarter of an inch is going to be quite common in places through south central Michigan, up into Montreal, southern Canada, Nova Scotia. Big ice storm. This is a very large, complex storm that has everything on the menu. On the left side of the storm where it's colder, there's snow, ice, freezing rain. On the right side of the storm that's going over Tennessee right now, a very, very strong cell going over Tennessee. There's high winds, heavy rain, hail, tornado warnings right now. There have been tornado warnings for the last 24 hours spanning from Texas through Louisiana, Mississippi, now in Alabama. In fact, there's another brand new tornado warning. Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties in Alabama. Now Cullman, Marshall, and Morgan. This one here expires in 31 minutes. This tornado warning here expires in 1 minute. So it's moving to the northeast. And these storms are moving along at a pretty fast pace, but they're very strong storms, and they're creating a lot of havoc. Flash flooding in places, very high winds. I also saw where tornado sirens were activated in the Dallas, Plano, Texas area just a few hours ago when these storms rolled through that area. So they're not done yet. They've got all afternoon to keep rolling through parts of Tennessee, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Here's the power outage scene right now. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 200,000 customers without electricity. Right now you've got 109,000 out in Alabama, 50,000 out in Mississippi, 15 Texas, 29, almost 30,000 in Louisiana, 24,000 in Arkansas, 28,000 in Tennessee, and nearly 40,000 in Kentucky. So over 200,000 customers without electricity right now as I do this video. Just incredible. And we're watching this storm very, very closely. Got a few ominous sky photos and a little video clip I want to share with you guys. Doris G out of Virginia captured some incredible lightning here a few days ago, and there's going to be another storm roll through Virginia here in just a few hours, and it may resemble this lightning that you're seeing right here that Doris caught on video from a previous storm that went through the state of Virginia. There's more weather headed that way. Large mushroom-looking cloud out of Mexico sent in by Stan. Look at that. Incredible. West New York, Matt B. This photo is from today as some dark clouds started to roll into the area. These next few pictures are from northwest Arkansas, sent in by Deanne. And these are some of the most ominous looking storm clouds I think I've ever seen. I mean, these things almost look otherworldly. Look at that. Incredible. They look like some sort of thick spider web up in the sky. Really super bizarre. Once again, these photos are out of northwestern Arkansas. Very strange looking storm clouds. Thank you, Deanne. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Once again, keep a very close eye out on these storms as they're rolling towards the East Coast. They're still very strong. And like I said earlier, there's over 200,000 customers right now without electricity. And if you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com right here at the website. All of the photos end up in the Sky Phenomena photo gallery, which is growing exponentially day by day. In fact, I put nearly 40, almost 45 new photos in the Sky Phenomena photo gallery today alone. Awesome pictures from all around the world. There's a lot of interesting information here at the website. Don't forget to stop by and check it out. You can find it linked below in the description box, MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.